against Montreal, and maybe how much you think you might have to rotate the lineup, and I guess how much you guys have improved since the game at the Big O earlier in the season.
Well, yeah, obviously it's a very important game. Obviously with the Champions League spot up for grabs, so it's every time that any player represents Toronto, we're looking to win. So we know we've got a heavy fixture list coming up. So yes, of course we're going to, the squad's going to be used to its capacity, but it doesn't matter who goes out there. It's about winning.
And about how much this team has changed, I guess, since that game in Montreal.
Yeah, exactly. I think the team's evolving. We're getting better individually, and as a team we've got a long way to go. But yeah, I think it's pretty obvious to see, not from just inside here, but from outside, that the guys are progressing along really well.
Is there a chance that, when you look at how many games Montreal's played in the last month, which is basically just one almost in the last 20-something days, that that they might be a little slow? I guess you could look at them well rested, but how important is it for you guys to get a good start based on that?
Yeah, well, exactly. You could look at it, glass is half full or empty, isn't it? So whether they come out of the box slow, I don't think so. I think they're a very experienced team and experienced coach, and so they know it's an important fixture as well. So we're expecting a really tough game. Obviously they've refreshed, and I think they're probably desperate for a game.
Any injury update on Logan Emery?
Day to day was what I heard. So was last what I said this morning. So hopefully he'll be pretty short term.
So he won't play tomorrow, or he might play?
Not sure. He's just kind of he's up and about. We'll see how he goes tomorrow.
And Richard Eckersley, and what's the status of him?
Richard and Rusty are moving around now, and so they're getting really close. Yep.
Ryan, on the weekend you talked about the need to be hyper intense at certain moments of the game. Is that not really a catch-22 though for the young players who you've yet to do that? They sort of have to experience that to get to it, do they not?
Yeah, exactly. It's once you kind of look back on it and kind of, I suppose, let the emotions subside, and we were in 3 games where we were Philadelphia away and the 2 MLS Cup finalists where we're in winning positions, and so when you look at the real positives on that, it's a real nice I'd say problem to have, but it's it's in a nice position to have, considering where this club has been. We could have been really right up there, but yeah, you're right. Like if you took away Rob Earnshaw, you're looking at the whole squad very young. 25 is the oldest, and I think in Darren O'Day. But you look at Reggie Lamb, Louis Silva, Hogan Effrey, Gale, Ryan Richter, Logan Emery, Joe Bendick, Justin Braun, all of them in their early 20s. So it's what it shows is that there's a really nice, real bright future, and we've got a bright bunch of young guys here who are a pleasure to work with. But to your question, yeah, it comes with some things that you just have to learn the hard way.
As you know, there's a huge rivalry between Toronto and Montreal. I'm sure you've played in some big derby matches. Are there any that in your career that stand out as major rivalries when you played?
The Blackburn-Burnley one was it's absolutely huge. It's way bigger than most people know in England, because they didn't, when we were in the Premier League, they didn't play them very often, and they're only about 5 miles apart, and it was the most intense game I've ever experienced. I've experienced at Tottenham Arsenal, but it was nowhere near what the Blackburn-Burnley one was. There's a real hatred there. So yeah, hopefully they won't need the army to come to Montreal, Toronto like they did for that game, or 5,000 fans storming the field trying to kill us. One guy actually stormed the field and knocked out a woman police officer when he went to attack Robbie Savage. So hopefully we won't see that on BMO Field. If we do, maybe Fran O'Leary can get up and save the day.
Is there a chance that Steph might see some action tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely. Steph will lead the team out. He'll start. It's really important for Stefan to play. He's really deserved it, because he hasn't put a foot wrong in training. He has put his head down. He's working so hard, and he's as I said, the goalkeepers we have is. I think I'm the luckiest MLS coach in that position. and we've got 3 really good ones. And so, yeah, Steph will lead the team out.
Have you felt that rivalry with Montreal the first game you went there?
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously fantastic with the Toronto fans and you know, the atmosphere, and you know, we're looking not to obviously you know, bring that passion and intensity that the fans brought then to the field, and to get in a good position for when we go away to Montreal.
The daily question about the Argentines. Any update on that?
Yes, Urruti is not coming. He's that's finished now, and I think the other player. I mean, there should be a formal announcement. Pretty sure I'm just staring over your shoulder at the moment to see if I get the green light. Tell you the truth. That smile and shake of the head's a no. So, but yeah, I think so.
Are you waiting, or have you been looking last year when Darren came in at the European window when it opens up, and you know, with DP spots available? Do you expect Danny to come back to not have that spot available, one of them anymore, or are you looking at somebody in Europe once the window opens?
We're always looking for players. We always look to improve the squad. We're always looking to bring players in that's going to complement the squad. Obviously, good character as well is so important. We've got a great dressing room, a great bunch of guys, and we'll only bring players that we know that can perform on and off the field.
There are reports in Britain and other places that the club is interested in Kevin Davies. Is there any truth to that?
I hope so. He's a good friend, Kevin. He beat me up several times when I played against him. So I'm pretty sure most MLS coaches would love to have a guy like Kevin Davies around. So if it is true, yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great. Can you let me know if he comes?
Well,
if he turns up in Toronto, can you let me know?
One of the reports says you've spoken to him about it.
I speak to him all the time. Yeah, he's a really good guy. I'm actually quite good friends with a few of the guys from Bolton, so I speak to them quite often. It's more, I speak to Keith Andrews, tell me about what kind of trouble Darren O'Day gets in when he goes on international duty of Ireland. So,
is there a Rudy thing frustrating? There seemed like a lot of time and effort went into that. As you've told us, there have been some issues at the club, his club, that perhaps were out of your control. But is it lost time chasing somebody like that, or?
Well, I think it is lost time, but there's always lost time when you chase targets. You have to chase 10 to get potentially just one, or you know, sometimes it's even more. So these things happen in football, and you know, it's infuriating, it's frustrating, of course, but to grab the one you want, you know, you've got to go after 10, 15, 20, you know, and I think that's what I was surprised when I first came here, is there was just nothing. We had no scouting, no nothing. It was scary, so we had to start our own database, our own scouting networks, our own player recruitment, and we're starting to, so the whiteboard's starting to look a bit busier with names now, so when one falls off, another one will hopefully take its place.
Can I just go back to Saturday, the press conference, the video I saw of it, you looked down after that result, more so perhaps for your players, because you said that they were gutted and you were gutted for them. I'm wondering, obviously you're used to all sorts of emotions as a player. Is it different as a manager when you have a whole squad that you're responsible for and you see what they go through?
Yeah, I think as a player you're a wee bit more selfish and you kind of feel bad for yourself, maybe a bit more. But and I think as a coach or a manager, you feel for everybody. I felt for the whole boys, because I see how hard they work and the effort they've put in and the improvement they've made since. Well, you've seen it as well. I think from day one in pre-season, where we both probably thought this is going to be a tough time, but as I said, when you kind of take a couple of steps back and you get the emotion away from it, and you realise that, you know, the MLS Cup finalists only really had one opportunity besides the set piece in the whole of 90 minutes, where we should have put the game away at 3 or 4-0, and what's so frustrating is it's the steps that the guys have made and how they've evolved as a team together. And so I felt really bad for them, you know. There'll always be ups and downs, and whether I'm here or not, you know, like it's the team that's the most important. It's the boys on the field that's the most important, and that's why I'm so gutted for them.
And can I ask you about Jeremy Hall? We were used to seeing him as a fullback last year. what did you see him in? I know he's played midfielder before, but what did you see in him that? How did you get to him in that role?
I mean, first time I saw Jeremy on the football field, I immediately thought that was his position. To tell you the truth, I didn't really even consider him in any other role, but that position there. And then what's been great about Jeremy is he's grabbed it with both hands and just learnt from it and grown from it. And I think his performances have just gotten better and better. And as I said in the press conference, I think him and Reggie Lamb have been just two standouts, consistent standouts for the guys. And everybody's playing really well, but those two have, from day one to now, just gone on leaps and bounds. And again, all of them have been improving, but those two have been really good.
I think you may have mentioned at the press conference, but would you say he's one of the sort of the unsung members of the squad? I think at the Dallas game, there was only 6 passes he didn't complete or something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous how many things both those guys do that go by that probably the fans don't see, or sometimes the media don't see. Especially Jeremy cleans up a lot. He's very uncomplicated, so the game just passes it by because he doesn't complicate it. And that's what we've asked him to do in his job. He's done the job just brilliantly well. And so, obviously, to get such a good goal for him, it was a fantastic reward for how well he's been playing.